Hi, it's Don Petrasic from the Rehab Offer Calculator, and today's tip is how to save 30% on a bathroom remodel. Now, even though the title of today's tip has bathroom remodel in it, what you're going to learn you can apply to just about any part of your house rehab project, and you'll see what I mean later. So I had a recent rehab project where I was remodeling two bathrooms in a house. They happened to be back to back. There was a door in between them. I wanted to eliminate that door, stretch one of the bathrooms out, and just do a moderate rehab. It wasn't a gut. I was really just doing cabinets, floors, walls, replacing the toilets. More of a cosmetic than a gut. So within this project, I decided that I wasn't going to do things the same way this time. I was going to explore some different alternatives. Maybe look for another way to get things done other than my typical contractors that I always used. Just go out and create some more options for myself. So what I decided to do was go out to the big box home improvement stores. This is what I always done in the past for materials. So in my mind, that was the best place for materials anyways. But since I was going there for materials, I decided, why not get a labor estimate as well. Now, some family members had just done some remodeling. They did this, came back to me and said they felt like they got a good price for both labor and materials. So I thought, hey, this could be another option for my houses. Let's see what happens. So went into the big box retailer, got estimates on the materials I needed. They came back. They looked fairly reasonable. Here's a couple examples. I was putting a kind of floor-to-wall linen cabinet in one of the bathrooms. That priced out at $725, and that same bathroom needed a 48-inch vanity, which priced out at $642. Looked pretty reasonable. This was a custom finish, ordered, came in 4 to 5 weeks. The real surprise, though, and shock was the labor estimate. So the first labor estimate, as you can see, came in at $12,000. Actually, it was a little over $12,000. I couldn't believe it. I expected it to be maybe half that. Again, it wasn't a gut. There wasn't a whole lot of work there. I was leaving the showers and the bathtubs alone, so I just couldn't understand where this came from. Went back into the store, and the person who had done our estimate kind of agreed with me that it seemed really high, and she said, well, let me get one of our other contractors out there and let's get another estimate for you. Well, the other estimate went in the right direction, but it still was a crazy number to me, about $10,500. So at that point, I decided that this just wasn't an option for me anymore. Had to figure out another way, and I ended up calling a family friend who happened to be a contractor, but who was somebody I had never used on my houses before. Kind of explained the project to him. He came out, looked it over, and he referred me to a building supply company. So this building supply company was a local company who really just serviced builders and contractors. Frankly, I had never heard of them before. But I went in, talked to the salesperson, and he came back with a price on the cabinet work that was almost 30% less than the big box cabinets. I immediately called him and said, you must have forgot one of the bathrooms. Something's wrong. We went back through the list. Nope, I have everything. As you can see here, $1,000 difference on $3,500 worth of cabinets at the big box retailer. Just unbelievable to me. So In the meantime, the family friend contractor came back with his estimate, and although it wasn't really what I thought was fair, it was more reasonable than the big box retailer, and the materials pricing had come down so much that I thought, this will probably work. I'm probably not getting the best deal, but let's see how this goes. I get another contractor lined up for my projects. I've got a new supplier. Maybe worth spending a little bit extra. Plus, I felt like I could trust him. He was a family friend. He was going to do a good job for us. Well, in the meantime, I started having a hard time getting him to call me back. He got very busy. Frankly, he was a little bit far from this particular house to do the project in a practical way. So I ended up going to a school reunion at the time and ran into one of my old school friends who happened to be a contractor. Told him about the project, had him out to the house. He gave me a labor estimate of $5,500. Now, this was more like, this is what I had expect, actually a little bit lower than what I had expected. So I was really happy with his labor cost, and I started moving forward with him. Now, one of the first things he recommended was going out to a custom cabinet maker that he worked with all the time. Great guy, did a perfect job, and I thought in my head, well, this is going to be crazy pricing again on materials, but let's see what happens. It's worth a try. So I go out to the custom cabinet maker, spend an hour and a half with him. He goes through the whole project, gives me all kinds of options. We decide on what the best one is. He comes back with the price, and I was astounded. The locally made custom cabinets were almost 20% less than I would have got ordering through the big box retailer. And he was done in 2 weeks. And I didn't do this, but I could have actually gone out there and watched the progress of my cabinets. It was just something I could have never imagined before, that I could work with a custom cabinet maker and pay a lot less money. So here's how the total costs are stacking up so far. The big box retailer's total project cost was over $20,000. The family friend who, sort of fell off the face of the earth, was hard to get a hold of, his total cost would have been $16,000. Now, my school contractor friend, in the meantime, in addition to the custom cabinet maker, he recommended some other suppliers that he worked with, and I actually ended up upgrading. I put granite countertops in instead of solid surface. I was able to tile the shower, and through the cabinet maker, I was able to put in some real nice looking dual wall cabinets instead of a stock medicine cabinet, which I was going to do with the other two options. Ultimately, I ended up at $12,500 using this option. I kept the same $7,000, the building supply cost as my budget, but again, I was able to upgrade using this guy's other suppliers. I was going to high-end suppliers, the local granite tile supply that I thought I never could afford, the custom cabinet maker, and a few other places that I had previously thought were just for high-end builders, and it was saving all kinds of money. So what was the bottom line? I saved $8,000 on the project and ended up with a significantly better grade finish than I would have going to the big box retailer. You can see by these pictures, it's beautiful custom cabinets, granite countertops, high-end tile, a perfect project. So what I want you to take away from this is, don't make assumptions when it comes to getting the best price on materials and labor. Don't automatically run out to the big box retailers, assume that's always the lowest discount price. On a lot of things they are. But even the lower grade materials are not necessarily the lowest price at the big box retailers. When I was out at the building supply company, we talked about low grade cabinets, and the guy asked me what I normally put in some of my other rental houses. I told him, it was a big box retailer special, unfinished oak cabinets. He actually showed me finished cabinets that were priced 10 or 15% less. So not only did I get the cabinets cheaper, but I didn't have to finish them at the same time. Do your homework. Look around. Don't make assumptions that higher grade suppliers are not going to be competitive when it comes to price. It's just not the case. Think about it this way. If you're reselling a $100,000 house and you were doing the bathrooms that I was doing in that house, you could have lost half your profit just by going to the big box retailer, assuming that that's the best you could do. And in addition to that, you would not have ended up with granite countertops, custom cabinets, nice tile in the shower, all the things that I did. So you wouldn't have had the wow factor that would help you sell that house. Now, over the next couple of weeks, I'll be sharing some more fixer house tips with you. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about a $6,300 mistake I made. That was a big one. And share with you that story so you don't make the same mistake I did. So thanks for listening, and good luck with your house rehab project.